What's up, everybody? It's Erin.
And Nicole. This is Dude That's Fucked Up.
Welcome.
Welcome.
I hope you're well. I hope you're great. I hope you're living life to its fullest. Probably not, though, because we still in a pandemic.
Yeah, forever.
Oh, my God. Man.
Is this a forever thing now? Oh, my God. Okay, wait, really quick. This just was like brought to our attention a couple weeks ago. We haven't really talked about it, but I just want to say, we might actually make it to Casa Bonita at some point.
Oh, yeah. They're opening back up soon.
Yeah.
And I don't know when in the future that will be.
Yeah. We got to keep an eye on it.
Yeah, I'm thinking more like 2022.
2022, the Casa Bonita tour.
Yeah.
Casa Bonita World Tour. We're gonna do a multi-city tour, and we're only eating at entertainment restaurants. Yeah.
Rainforest Cafe.
Yep.
What else is there?
Like probably something like Dolly Parton themed, hopefully somewhere, or like Rogers.
Any opportunity I have to give Dolly Parton my money, I will give it gladly, freely.
Yeah, no cues aid.
No cues aid. That's who I got my my vaccination from. I'm fully giving Dolly credit for the Moderna vaccine. That I am now a fully vaccinated participant of society now.
Wow.
Thanks to her.
Oh, my goodness. She did it.
She did it.
What a queen.
She saved me.
She said, God bless the Queen, Dolly.
Truly.
There's got to be shirts that say, God bless the Queen, and it's her face. There's got to be.
I mean,
that's not an original idea.
No,
we have to get those.
Yeah. My brother got me a Saint Dolly sticker,
candle.
Candle, like a sticker for a pillar candle, you know?
Yeah.
Just because he's like, I just thought you might like this. I'm like,
oh my God, what a cool brother.
My brother's the best. I love you, Brett.
Oh, hi, Brett.
The best. Yeah, he's a gem. Anyway.
What a gem.
Yeah. So what's going on, everybody? I hope God, I don't know. I don't know what I hope anymore. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Let's keep it moving.
Yeah, let's keep it moving.
Do we have any business this week?
No biz. If you're on TikTok, come follow us over there, I guess, is the biz. I said no biz, and then I'm like, let me come up with some biz. But
yeah.
It's real hot over there. It's real on fire.
We've
set some fires.
We may have caused a little bit of a fight between some jam band stands.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yikes.
Dave Matthews Band and Fish fans are fighting in the comments. The girls are fighting.
They don't even go here.
Oh my God. People think we really care about jam bands. We don't.
That was the worst. Yeah, that was truly the worst part of it all. Is just people are being mean to us, and that's fine. And people were, of course, being like, women aren't funny, and that's fine also. Because I immediately know you're trash if you're saying that.
Yeah. Just coming in hot with the fat phobia and the fucking misogynistic shit.
Attacking our attractiveness. Why? You don't, it doesn't matter. And I don't, I certainly don't care what you have to say.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely wild that people think that.
Yeah. It's, oh my God. But it's been such a treat. And all the comments, there's so many good comments. And there is very fun comments from, we should give her a shout out.
Yes. God, Shauna from Bad Trip Podcast.
Oh my God. So funny.
Came in from the top rope and started just.
From the top. She was just like.
she just dropped in and fucking just slapped down a bunch of neck beards.
Yeah.
Just for funsies, you know, just
women
supporting women, you know, and
Fire.
it was amazing. And
it was so good.
So shout out to her. That was very cool. Check out our podcast. It's very fun, very like in the wheelhouse of us. So like I will certainly be checking it out and listening.
Cool. Yeah, I liked her TikToks.
Yeah,
kind of like
she's cool.
Witchy vibes and like very fun. Oh my goodness,
like spooky, cool, love it. Yeah,
but her comments were
fire.
Good. Yeah, and I was just like, oh, I wish I was just living my life like that, but I'm peeling back the layers. I'll get there eventually. And I did challenge a couple people. This one guy was like, this one guy's comment was like, you know how it's a trend to be like, tell me you are blank without telling me you're blank?
Yeah.
And he was like, tell me you like hearing yourself talk without telling me you like hearing yourself talk. That's like what his comment was. And I was like, all I commented was, we have a podcast. That's the joke, sir. Like, you set me up. I'm telling you. And he goes, he said something so condescending. Yeah. He was like, neato or something. And I'm just like, you're the one that like set me up. Whoa, what a piece of shit. I don't think you got it. Anywho, there's a lot of that going on in there. And we were just like texting each other back and forth about like, this is what I want to say to this one. This is what
God.
Just like our little sick burns that we would have.
So much of my life has been wasted on TikTok for good reasons and for bad reasons.
Yeah.
For good reason, it usually is like such a dopamine high of watching all these fantastic creators on TikTok, and then we like have our own TikTok that is just it's an anxiety inducing thing. That's the business.
The biz. Check out our TikTok.
Yeah. Go to our website dtfupodcast.com.
Leave us a review on iTunes if you can, if you don't mind.
Swell.
That would be lovely.
We'd like that.
Helps. Yeah.
Very much. Anything fucked up for you this week?
No, I don't. My neck's like really fucked up. I think I'm just stressing myself out, but it's like really fucked up. And now it's like moving down my back, and I'm like, oh no, this is just getting old. Losing range of motion. But finally, I might try yoga.
Bless, you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it now because I don't like this.
I highly recommend yoga with Adrienne. She's great on YouTube. She's very very easy, very very chill, very cool. I don't know. I think she's like our age, so she's like, you know, she's down. And then I enjoy. I think it's called Yoga Studio. I think that's the name of it. That's the app I use. It's real nice.
Oh, okay. Yoga Studio and Yoga with Adrienne.
Yeah, I'll send you the app.
Oh, okay.
It's nice. That's what I do for my yoga practice.
Oh, nice.
And sometimes my mom like forces me to do her class.
Oh, really?
She's like a yoga instructor, so she'll be like, "Let's do yoga when I come down." DJ's all about it. He's like, "Yes." And so whenever,
like personal yoga class.
Yeah, totally. So
that's nice.
Yeah. So yeah, we got it. We got it all wired.
Yeah, amazing. What about you? What's your fucked up of the week?
Yeah, I don't think anything. Just that I lost an entire day on TikTok.
I know.
Basically, it's just like extremely distracting, and I wish that I didn't give a shit.
I know. I just like seeing the numbers too, and it's like, ooh, more. We got like more. Another person liked it or whatever. But yeah, well, we'll take a couple of days off from there, and
I need to stop being extremely online. It's a bit much. So
it's really unhealthy. It's bad. I think my emotions have been way more erratic because I've been spending way more time online. But it's hard because on the one hand, it's like, oh, you know, you shouldn't be spending all this time online. But on the other, what else am I going to do? And also, I'm like finding little ways to have fun and like make myself laugh. And I've been like recording little embarrassing like things I've been doing. And I just like will immediately go to my car and like talk about it, which is so fun. I don't know. And then it's funny and it makes me laugh. And it's like, why not? How could this be so bad for you?
Yeah.
But then you're just checking it, and then you're just like responding. And like,
I was going to say, because that's the outcome is like you're putting
like
yourself out there.
Yeah.
And you're vulnerable.
True.
And then you're waiting for the, the reactions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's all bad. It's the devil.
It is the devil. I love it though.
I know. That's why.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's why.
Well, at least you're not turning to a life of crime.
Not yet.
And that's the segue for today's episode. Dumb.
So good. You didn't even see it coming.
You weren't ready for that. I know you weren't. Today we're talking about some, I don't know, a very interesting thing that I just did not even know. I mean, maybe if you live in the UK, you know about this.
Yeah, we had no awareness of this.
No awareness at all. I mean, the realm of it being a possibility is obviously there, but did not know this existed. So, speaking of life of crime, when most people think of like highway robbers in the 1800s and London gangs of the past, I think most people think, of men, rough and tough men who will fuck your shit up, who are just like very like don't give a shit, like I don't know, like just bad dudes. I'm talking like fucking Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of, their hats. Like when I think of like 1800 gangs, like London, yeah, it's like everyone has, I don't even know what that hat's called, but it kind of looks like a muffin top, and then it has like a bill
like
on
a
it.
like a newsboy cap. That's what I think of, and then I think of other things when I think of Peaky Blinders.
What?
Namely Cillian Murphy, but yeah,
I don't have a thing for him.
Oh my God. What if I told you that there was an all-lady gang that was real called the 40 Elephants or the 40 Thieves who were active from the 18th to the 20th century, a long fucking time, who specialized in shoplifting, blackmail, and extortion in London's West End.
I would say from the top, make it drop. That's a what?
The 40 Elephants were a syndicate of working class women who lived in and around London Bridge, and their greatest notoriety came from their longevity and ability to remain undetected, and they were operational for a very long time, obviously, from the 18th to the 20th century, like I said. Goddamn.
Wow.
This is why women need to run things, I'm telling you.
I know. Honestly, like, the fact that they existed, I don't know much about, like, organized crime. But I don't think it ever lasts that long. Like, I don't think there are families that go that long. Like,
there's Italian, like, mob crime syndicates that.
But those dissolve, like those dissolve and morph into other things. This was its own thing for a long time, and maybe because it wasn't a family thing, so there was no butthurt feelings about like, well, I'm the oldest, now I'm taking over type shit, Totally. It's like just a bunch of women that were like, hey, do you want to be a badass bitch and like make a ton of money and stick it to the man all at the same time?
They recruited people who were like hot, smart, could sew, had like skills, and like that was the prerequisites for joining this gang was like,
oh my God,
are you going to be a bad bitch?
Yeah,
yes,
I am.
Great. Are you going to be a stupid bitch?
No.
Then no. Yeah. Yeah. So
no. Are you gonna be a cross stitching bitch?
And that's fine. We'll take you.
They sew.
Yeah, they sew. Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitive records show that the Elephants operated between 1873 and the 1950s, but there is some evidence to suggest that the gangs origins can be placed as early as the end of the 18th century. So
I bet they were just doing their thing forever.
Oh yeah, there's like, there's some very, very interesting tidbits out there, and like the like beginning structures of. I mean, it was a lot of like survival shit that women were doing.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm talking like highway robbery shit, like not just like they would stop coaches and rob the fucking people, the rich people that were in them. Like they had like strategies for doing all this shit because they're kind of flying under the radar. So
I love it. Yeah, the women can just be like, "Oh no, sir, I'm sorry. Do you mind like coming over here?" And then it's like, "Oh yes, you like fragile little thing who couldn't possibly get out of this situation without a man's help." And then the women all come out from like behind the trees and they're like, "What'd you say?"
Yeah, basically.
Give us your money.
Pretty much. And that was like the early beginnings. And so, but the 40 Elephants name comes from the area that they mostly operated from in their like main heydays, the Elephant and Castle area of London. Like there's a pub there that they would like have their like the Elephant and Castle pub. It's like it's world famous.
I want to go there.
Yeah. Oh my God. But yeah, they would fucking go there and get organized and plan and plot their fucking crimes and shit. They were also allied to the Elephant and Castle mob that was led by the Mcdonald brothers. So they were just like, you know, all working together. All the crime people get together, obviously.
Fucking taking it to the streets.
Yeah.
Because they're the McDonald
brothers. Yeah. God damn it.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh yeah.
Well, the alliance between this actual like man mob was pretty organic and probably born out of survival and necessity, and also like dick appointments and stuff. So I'm sure there was, you know, that's like you gotta grow the gang. So
yeah. Oh yeah, people were probably like, you know, hooking up in there. And
you like shoplifting, I love shoplifting.
Oh my God,
you're hot,
grab a beer. Yeah,
let's do it. We don't need to tell you though how fucking rough it's been for women at all points in history, but especially this point in time in London, 1800s, early 1800s. Just was not a good time. This is like when I want to say spontaneous human combustion was at its high point because everybody's just setting themselves on fire. Highly flammable fucking skirts and shit. We've talked about it. Our first episode.
So much clothes. Yeah. So many clothes, so many petty skirts. You don't even know. You know, like when you like how the other day I was like, I walked in here and I was trying to get something all quiet and I didn't realize like my circumference, like, and I like moved really quickly and knocked everything off this table. And imagine having those fucking petticoats on and having all these like oil lamps everywhere. It's just not an easy time for women. And also, isn't this the Industrial Revolution?
Yeah.
So they're also like working 14 hours in like factories and shit.
Yeah, it's either you join a factory if you're born into like a lower class, like you know, into poverty of some of whatever sort. Yeah, you're either going into a factory to work and die very young, or you know, you don't have a lot of alternatives basically if you're a woman, and survival is your number one priority. So a lot of these women were like, I don't want to live like that. I want to have things. And, you know, crime was a pretty good option. So unfortunate. But I mean, an organized crime itself has always been a thing. But for a while there, a lot of women operated independently. There were some like really early quote unquote members of this gang who were just like straight up scammers who bilked men out of their money. Like you were saying, like, hi, I'm like poor, defenseless.
Yeah.
Or they'd be like the, you know, Anna Delvey's of their day and just be like, I'm a rich heiress. Like, let's get married. And then they'd string men along and like,
I love that.
Eventually just rob them and take off to another country.
Yes.
There's a really excellent book on the subject of the 40 elephants that I want to plug before we get really into it called Alice Diamond and the 40 Elephants by Brian Mcdonald. I don't know if he's related to the McDonald brothers or not, but maybe. Maybe it's a common name, so who knows?
Don't know if I'm related.
Oh my God. I didn't know we were going to be getting so much Michael McDonald tonight.
I didn't know either.
Oh,
it just happened.
It's a treat. It's a real treat. Well, this book highlights individual women who bopped around England and other countries, just absolutely destroying men and taking their money. We stand. These women, though, were starting to pop off in the late 18th century, which is why some historians think the roots of the 40 elephants started with women like them. But we're going to focus mostly on the time period of the early we'll talk about some 1900 stuff, but we're going to talk about like mostly the early 20th century when they were like at their height, rampaging through London.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they had this like ramping up period through the 1800s, you know, where it was like starting to get more and more.
Yeah, they hit their stride in like at the end of the 1800s, beginning of the 1900s. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
pretty wild.
Cool shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Very creative, very inventive. Like I said, please read the book I just recommended for some very good anecdotes about
oh my God,
how these women would just be scamming thousands of dollars constantly. Like,
I just feel as a woman so proud.
I mean, it's they're
the
innovators.
Ingenuity. Yes.
Yeah.
The ingenuity, the survival, the creativity. We're going to talk about some like ways that they were able to like steal shit. And it I mean, part of it was just like the time and they were set up for success in some ways, but also it's just like, I don't know. I just kind of love how brazen these women were.
So brazen.
Yeah.
I mean, the scheming was truly like top notch.
Yeah.
And movies could be made about each individual woman mentioned in this book. Like I'm telling you, like the stories are crazy. Like I couldn't even get. I skimmed through a lot of the beginning because it was just like story. It was like stories bleeding into stories. Basically, is how it works. And that's why it seems like it's, you know, the framework is all there for the beginning of the gang. So, for example, this woman named Jenny Diver, who we could do an entire episode on, just in and of herself.
Oh my God.
She's one of the OG lady criminals who operated through the mid 1700s. So this is like vintage.
Oh my God.
And
bonus episode?
She laid the blueprint for how to stealthily move through wealthy environments and rob the shit out of all the people in the it's like crazy. It basically the entire strategy though, the whole thing relied on being attractive, charming, educated, and dressing well. So you could easily mix in with the rich people and not attract suspicion. That was her whole MO. I'm
legitimately trying to think of like a film or something where this is. I can think of films where women have kind of like weaved their way into an environment and like started to fit in, but then they are a bad woman and then something bad happens and they're like killed or run away, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Like The Hand That Rocks the Cradle or something, you know, where there's like a grifter situation and like
it's always like there's always like a good, you know, like they're never the heroine. They're always the like, you know,
the bad guy, the villain.
The villain. Yeah.
But I just like would love to see movies
we do this for men all the time.
I know. Where it's like you don't yes, this is always like a male version of
fucking
what?
Peaky Blinders.
You're like rooting for the criminal.
Yeah, you're like you have sympathy and empathy.
Yeah.
And you're like, these guys are fucking it. Like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? I'm so concerned for, you know, for the whole Shelby family, you know?
Yeah.
And this is like, where's the women? I mean, there are women in the story of Peaky Blinders, and they're fucking bad bitches. Like, but
they're not crime bosses. Like we're talking about 40 Elephants.
No.
Yeah, exactly. I want to see that. I want to see it.
I want to see that movie.
Mm-hmm.
So with this woman, Jenny Diver, she in the end, she was caught several times, but she was eventually her luck ran out and she was executed. So keep in mind, this is high stakes shit. Well, especially in those days. But yeah. Through the 1800s, as we mentioned before, shoplifting was a huge part of what the 40 Elephants were known for. This is how they like built their empire, basically. And it was such a no-brainer for them because in the 1800s, the big skirts were the fashion. You could just hide anything you wanted in those skirts.
Oh my God.
Fucking hams, a whole human, shoes, clothes. Whatever.
Yeah, if you can hide a whole human, you can hide shoes and clothes.
Oh my God.
What? Well, also, I think one of the fun things was that they would sew like little compartments into their inner skirts so that like a bunch of pockets and with little hidden compartments to like put the stuff in to make it easier, which was amazing. And like no one was questioning like women stealing. They would never.
It was, no way. I mean,
no way.
Especially because these women would walk into a store, like a high-end, you know.
Like a department store.
Or, you know, whatever. Little dress shop, whatever. And they would look.
Ham shop?
Yeah. They would look like a very high class, like, you know, they're beautiful.
Lady on the town.
Yeah, they're perfectly coiffed. They have their perfume. They have their gorgeous like handmade dress that's just, you know, unique and they weren't
a fucking
like,
muff?
Yeah,
they have like a fur muff? Yeah.
They got all this shit. They look they're stunning. They're out here doing the most. But it's like they looked good. And also, it was a very prudish time, so nobody was questioning them. Nobody was like, ma'am.
Yeah, can I see under your dress?
Yeah, no, that was not happening.
You would never. You couldn't even see anyone's ankles or their legs. Like
exactly.
Yeah, you couldn't see anyone's neck. Everyone wore like full ass collars. They were just like, you know, didn't dresses come down, like your sleeve came all the way down and then like hooked in onto your middle finger. You weren't even showing hand skin.
No.
Back of the hand? Never. Oh my God. So of course like people weren't like, oh yeah, can you go in the dressing room and leave it open so that we know you're not stealing anything? No, they couldn't. They just couldn't.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But also it was making me wonder, like, I don't know, like, what do you think is the wildest thing? Maybe you read this. I don't know, but I wasn't able to find this. But like, what do you think is the wildest thing they were able to steal?
Well, I read an anecdote
weirdest.
about this one woman who was like, wasn't shoplifting. It was, they would also like seduce men and like steal from them, whatever.
Yeah.
This one woman was out walking with like a wealthy man, and she like literally like as she was holding his hand was able to get his ring off without him noticing. But then he did notice, and then she got caught. But like it was pretty like fuck, dude.
I'm sorry, even the best pickpocketer cannot do that. Like this woman's a star.
She almost got away with it.
Wow.
Like I don't know what her like plan was, but I think it was like she had a like male associate who was supposed to like jump out of the shadows and like, you know, scare them or something, and it didn't.
So that they like ran away and then she got to get away and stuff.
Yeah, it like didn't happen, and then it would be like, oh, this man must have like he hit the guy. I don't know what the whole plan was, but it didn't go. It didn't go right, and she got caught. But that's some bold fucking moves right there.
Oh my God. I feel like, okay, if you're stealing some stuff, jewelry would be easier because it's smaller.
Small, yeah.
You know? And like that sort of stuff, it's just easier for people to steal anyway. I mean, it's hard because, you know, someone has to like show you the jewelry and stuff if it's like a fancy place. Yeah. But I'm just thinking, like, I bet they were like started. This is what I would do. I would start like challenging each other. Like we'd have little, you know, it's like team building exercise. It's like, all right, on the leaderboard this week, who can get the biggest, weirdest piece of whatever? And I feel like furniture, like an end table, if you could get an end table out of the store under your skirt, an ottoman, like a broom. I just feel like there's like fun stuff, and I would do little challenges, and then we'd like celebrate them later, you know?
Absolutely. I think that's so fun. I love that.
What a fun time.
Oh my God. Yeah, there was so many methods and so many just ridiculous things that they did to, I mean, the shoplifting was just the easiest thing, honestly. It was the fastest, easiest, most, you know, like cost-effective thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah, because you just had to buy the outfit to go there or like sew it. I mean, but also like we were saying, like skirts were just really big. Everything was really big. And there was like all these places you could store stuff. Like this is something fun I learned today, which is that cummerbunds. And it's cummerbunds and not cummerbunts, right?
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
But
a cummerbund, I like it. That's a fun thing.
It's like a bunt cake with cucumber on it.
I know. I love it. I feel like, yeah, it's
it sounds like a 70s dessert.
Jell-O mold?
Yeah.
Also, I can't ever hear bunt without thinking of My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Yeah.
Bunt cake?
Cumberbunt? Is that your cumberbunt? Anyway, I did not know this, but cummerbunds used to be like basically a pocket. Like that's why people wore cummerbunds, is because they didn't have pockets in their pants in those days. And so when they would go out, and during this time period, women would wear them regularly. It wasn't just like we know them now as like, oh, you would only ever wear one with like a tuxedo to a formal event. But they were kind of like an everyday thing, and it was basically like a pocket. And so you could put your money in there or whatever. And so they would steal stuff with fucking cummerbunds. And I'm like, it's like, the original fanny pack. And I just like really want them to come back because we can make them different designs and fabrics. I think it'd be cute.
Yeah. I'm like envisioning like, it's just the cummerbund is such a dorky, like clothing accoutrement. I just would love to see it come back in a like more edgy way, you know?
I love it. Like will it be this decade's studded thick belt? Or like, you know how the early 2000s, like everyone wore a thick belt, like over a dress or whatever. Maybe. And we're going to rebrand them cummerbunts, and I just think they're going to be great.
Yeah, we can. I can't wait. I think we rebrand them like the like smash and grab, like or something. Yeah, I don't know.
You don't have to knock it out of the park. It's a cummerbund.
Oh my god. No.
Oh my God. Anyway, all right. Well, they were just stealing a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
But the coolest thing for me about all this, like, obviously they couldn't just like wear everything that they were stealing because, you know, people, the department stores, even though they were department stores, still had stuff from like local dress shops and stuff. Like, you could still trace everything back. I feel like times weren't that.
Yeah, the clothing wasn't as mass produced as we think of now. Like, the inventory that places had was, you know,
like unique
and made to order still.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And, you know, even though there was like a lot of, you know, factory made clothing starting to come out at this time, it was so easy to trace things that were stolen, like clothing especially, and obviously jewelry. Like you can find, it's just like now, like everything gets sold in a pawn shop. So they had like ways of, they basically didn't hang on to the stolen goods and wear them. They would take it to other associates who were able to like basically launder these goods.
Yeah. And one of the things that was cool is that, like, they would take, so if they stole a bunch of like shirts or something, they would take them to, you know, the women would like either themselves would like alter them, or they'd take them for alterations, or take them to a store that did alterations, and they would like mess them up just enough so that it was the original like garment, but it looked like it had like a little imperfection or something, and then they would then in turn sell it as if it were a knockoff, even though it was the real thing, which is so fun. They're like dumbing down these outfits and stuff to be like, oh no, this isn't. It's like if you bought like a Coach bag and then the C's you made them into like lowercase e's or something, and you're like, no, it's a knockoff.
It's truly fucking up capitalism, and like, talk about disruptors. I mean,
I love them.
They were totally just really sticking it to all these rich, because they were going into like wealthy areas and going into like high-end shops. It wasn't just like, you know, regular old stores that anybody could shop at. It was like they dressed to the nines, walked into these places, grabbed a bunch of like very expensive shit, like walking into like an Hermes, basically. Yeah. Taking like a fucking Hermes bag.
Oh my God.
And then walking out. Like,
yeah, like being like, oh, can I see that bag behind the counter? And then causing some sort of commotion so that the other women that you're with can like put something up their skirt.
Like grab all the scarves, grab all the fucking, it was
oh my God.
Wild.
I know we've talked about your mom trying on that scarf. On this podcast.
No, I don't think we have.
No, we have. It's one of my favorite stories.
I don't think we have.
Oh, okay.
Please tell the story.
Okay. We were in Las Vegas for Erin's 21st birthday. We obviously were drinking and doing some shopping. And
God, this is so embarrassing.
Why?
It's so good. I love it.
It's so good. Oh my God. I remember your mom's face. And so we went into the Hermes store in the Bellagio. Uh-huh. And we were like, oh, we're like going to try on some scarves. I feel like, I don't know if we were doing it because we were like maybe going to get you one, or like we were like, let's see what the cheapest thing in this store is or whatever. We were just having fun being fancy ladies, and we definitely were drunk.
We were drunk, yeah.
Yeah, and it was daytime.
Yeah.
And we probably smelled like chlorine, and like, you know, we were not shopping.
No.
And so we go in there, and the lady was like very lovely and just so like nice. Yeah, helping us with she was showing us a scarf and all the different things you could do with it. And the Hermes scarf is big and it's beautiful and it's silky. And so Erin's mom volunteered to like be the model, to like
the mannequin where the woman was like tying it in all different ways on her.
And she's like, you could even make it like a shirt, like a halter top or something. And they were like, really? And so I think the lady was putting it on your mom. I don't know what happened, but didn't she punch your mom in the boob?
she like tried to like tie the knot and it just like her hand slipped and punched my mom like right in the titty.
So
and my mom was like, oh. She's like, yeah.
Oh my God. And then your mom's face, I just remember your mom was like not happy after that. And then we were just like, okay, thank you so much. And the woman was so embarrassed.
She was
we were laughing.
mortified.
Oh my God. We were laughing so hard.
Yeah, man. You could tell like this woman had worked in like high-end retail for like so long and was just like
she was like an older woman, just
she
like
was an
fancy.
expert saleswoman and just
oh my God, she just punched your mom right in the titty.
But we were laughing so fucking hard after that. Oh my God. It's so embarrassing.
I can see in my mind's eye exactly where we were standing at the counter, and like after that happening, I feel like I didn't see the incident itself, but like I like heard it and I was made aware and like looked over and your mom's face was just like she was so annoyed.
She like had this like the
we're
audacity.
Leaving. Yeah.
And I was like, bitch, who are you? Like this is calm down.
It was great. But you can't just let people punch you in the boob.
That's fair. It was an accident, though.
It was an accident. Yeah, but it was funny. And then we just laughed about it after. And we weren't going to buy one of those things.
Oh, God, no. Oh, my God. It was like $300 for a scarf.
No,
like,
ridiculous.
If not more.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, these women were out here. They were really doing it.
No one was punching them in the boobs.
Maybe.
Well, maybe each other. Maybe that was like their
initiation.
Their handshake. Every time they see each other, it's like
they just shake titties.
Yeah, they shake titties or like chest bump or something. I did want to say there was talking about just these well orchestrated like, oh yeah, like can we see that bag over there, and then like another one causes a commotion so that you could take it. This was something they got very good at in towards the end of the late 1800s, early 1900s. And I don't know if we're going to talk about her again later, but you mentioned Alice Diamond earlier, and she was like one of the leaders. And when she was a leader of the 40 Elephants, and this was like the 19 teens essentially to like 1920, I think is when her like rule was. But she was 20 years old. Like she was in her early 20s.
Very, very young, very smart, very beautiful. I think she was the daughter of like criminals. So she was like born into the life.
Yeah.
Alice Diamond, I mean, this is what the title of the book is that I had mentioned before. Right. This whole like criminal enterprise kind of culminates with her because she's a natural born leader. She takes the 40 Elephants like to a whole nother level. Like, oh my God, they are like a girl boss fucking,
not the Rachel Hollis kind.
No. Oh God. what an absolute twat.
That's been fun to watch.
My God.
But she really was like, she brought the professionalism of her family's history into 40 Elephants, and was just like had all the best ideas and was just leading them. And really in 1914, one of the like heists, I guess, that they pulled off, it's not really a heist, a robbery, one they pulled off was at the famous West End department stores, Selfridges, which essentially her and a bunch of her, ladies got all dressed to the nines, went into this very high-end department store, and all robbed like different departments. They got jewelry, they got clothing, they got shoes. Like they just like went in there and everyone did their little thing, and they all just walked out together, got in cabs and left. And it was like nothing happened.
It's like, I mean, I know we talk about like bank robberies, like that's the like, that's the goal for like so many fucking criminals, like people, or like, who like that is like the hype, the movies. This was like this was a heist. I mean, this was
You're
thousands.
not netting. Yeah.
You're not taking like pure, $100 bills out of the vault, but you are taking thousands. They took thousands of dollars worth of merchandise out of the store that day. I mean,
I know. Well, and also just when you think about like a robbery or like a bank heist, you're getting so much more, but the risk is so much greater.
Yeah.
And so it's harder to pull off. But they were doing this all the time. They just had a constant stream of like robbing stores and getting away with it and reselling the merchandise to the point where like, I mean, we're going to talk about this in a second, but like as the times were changing and like we were going into the roaring 20s, they were living fucking very lavish lifestyles. Like they were making a lot of money at this because they made it into a business. It wasn't like.
Yeah, they had their associates who would do, like the reset sales. It was a whole entire enterprise. They even had set aside money for, it was like an insurance policy that everybody paid into for bail.
Amazing. So smart.
If and when they got caught and they had to like get bailed out for whatever. Because they were running jobs all the time. Like, they would run these big heists and then they do these small little like blackmail jobs where they would like seduce men and then like just, rip them off. So.
Oh my God. I love it. That's what's different. I feel like that's what's different because in other like crime gangs and stuff, it's like, oh no, so-and-so got caught or whatever. And it's like, oh, that's too bad. Mm-hmm. And the women are like, no, we're going to set up this bail fund. We're going to like help you, blah, blah.
And keep in mind that these women were like, they had children and they had to take care of themselves and each other in this way.
Yeah.
And this is just what it was. So it takes a village,
I know. They knew that. They got that more than anyone. That's the thing.
But yeah, because they were so prolific and they were just like rampaging. They were truly like fucking up London. But people were like, okay, we see you bitches out here. Like they started to get recognized. They started to, it was a little bit too much. So they had to start branching out a little bit.
Diversifying their portfolio.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
When they, instead of just shoplifting, they would run scams on households, like rich households. Like they'd have the girls and the women in the gang like go and apply for, ladies' maid jobs or whatever.
Yeah. Probably like a nanny. Yeah. Mm.
And they would, have fake references and they would be, somebody would pretend to be this like high-end lady and be like, oh, yes.
Yes.
Claudette is wonderful. She's served our household for many years and we're so happy to let her go to your household. Yes. And they would just fucking rob them. Just straight up rob these households.
And disappear.
Yeah. And disappear into the night. Incredible. And then, so they had their territory. Mm-hmm. They had, they were affiliated with the Elephant and Castle men.
Yeah,
but
the Mcdonald brothers.
But they also they had run-ins with other crime syndicates. Yeah. I think at some point.
Well, I think they got so big, like you were saying, like they just started becoming so prolific and well known that they were able to, this is such like a schoolyard thing, but it's also like a organized crime thing. They had their own like territory where they were like, yo, these streets over here, do not touch them. If you do any jobs on there, we get a cut. Like otherwise you could just like go over there and fuck off and we don't care. But like if you're going to be working these streets and you owe us.
And that was the thing. They could be violent, but that was the symbiotic relationship between them and the male gang.
Yeah. They had to have muscle.
They had to have that because they just couldn't, overpower men in the same way men can overpower each other. So, and you know,
or could overpower them.
Right, exactly. And I think they, so like, these men would be enforcers, protectors, their lovers, whatever. So they all worked together to like form this, like the men loved them. They were like, y'all bitches are just as crazy as us. Like we fucking love you. We'll do anything for you too. You guys are bringing money our way. We're happy to do all the things.
I love it.
It was just like pure pussy power. It was fantastic. No, it was terrible. They were terrorizing fucking London. It was these women would like they would shoot people if they really needed to.
Yeah.
But mostly that was the men's job.
Yeah.
They were too busy like just, you know, doing bad bitch stuff. So
these were like straight up criminals doing illegal activities, and it's but at the same time,
we do not glorify that. No.
But I do also because you love to see it, because you know, it's just like we just know how hard it was for women during this time through history. We know, you know, their situations were shitty. They probably ran into a lot of bad luck here and there, you know, and it's just cool that they were able to just pull this off for so long. It's like the coolest. Listen, I never joined a sorority. Didn't want to. If this was a sorority, I might consider it.
Yeah. I'm just like envisioning Ocean's 8 like this entire time we're talking about it. Like,
yes, same.
You know,
or that movie. Oh, excuse me. I just ran into my microphone. Okay, I haven't seen this movie in so long, but Set It Off.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like a girl gang of like I think they're bank robbers. But yeah, it's just like so fun having a gang of women that is just like connected and everyone has a job to do and they're good at that job. Like that's what's fun about Ocean's 8. It's like, okay, well now we need the tech specialist. Well now we need the person who like is great at disguises, and it's just fun. Like that's just how I picture all these women. Like everyone had their role.
Well, and the whole thing of them being just so ignored because they're women.
That's the best part.
That's the best part.
Best part.
The irony of it. So it's, but yeah, so they were fucking up London. They were, like I said, they were not really at this point keeping a low profile. Like everybody was terrified of them. They'd walk into a store and it was just like literally everybody'd lock up their shit. It started to get harder and harder for them to, you know, make big scores in certain department stores, in certain boutiques, whatever. Yeah. Because everybody knew.
They had to go outside of the city.
Yeah, they had to get out of the city. They had to leave and go to like small towns and
little
countryside, beachside little areas that were still wealthy, but you know, nobody recognized them. You know, nobody knew who they were.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were just like going into these small towns, conning the people there, and taking their money.
Yeah, doing their work.
It'd be like if you got well known in New York and you were like, I'm taking the show on the road to the Hamptons and I'm robbing all of Ina's friends, basically.
No,
not Ina.
Never. No. Jeffrey maybe, but not Ina.
Not Jeffrey. How dare.
No. Gordon Ramsay probably.
Fair. He could take it.
Yeah, they were just getting too big and too well known, and also at the same time, and we said this a little while ago, we were getting into the roaring 20s at a certain point, and they had just been making so much money and just like really became flappers essentially, which how do you hide a ham in those dresses? You know,
you can't.
It's hard. You can't.
You're like, you have to be waif-like, and it's just a very minimal amount of fabric at this point.
Yeah. The only thing you're stealing is like maybe a slice of ham, but definitely not a whole ham.
Cold cuts only, baby.
Cold cuts. Fucking salami on those titties and get out. That's it.
And all you can really get is, you know, jewels, then what are you going to do? You know, you still got, it's hard enough. So so it's they're not really, they're being very flashy. They're living above their means, but they're still finding ways to, they're modernizing, they have cars now, so they're able to do like these smash and grab jobs and have getaway cars and be, you know, and transport goods in and out of the city much easier than they were before. So as you know, they started modernizing a little bit. Things they rolled with the times. They picked up, you know, new tricks, and they just kept going. But of course, like, the law is going to catch up with you. The Scotland Yard, I think by this point, was formed and really starting to the Scotland Yard realized there was organized crime in like the mid 1800s. I think they were like, oh, this is like a whole like thing.
It's fine. I truly did not think this. I think I learned that the Scotland Yard was actually a real thing maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, but I always thought it was fake. I remember it in the 101 Dalmatians. It's like, call Scotland Yard or whatever, like when some of the dogs are escaping. And I was like, huh. And it's like a little terrier or whatever, like Scottish terriers like trying to help them or whatever. Yeah, I thought it was fake.
No, it's a real thing. It's like, you know, the police department is in Scotland Yard, or like, it's like, I guess like the
it's
FBI.
Like CIA or FBI. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the FBI. I think MI6 is like the CIA.
Yes.
So they start getting fingered more and more often. They started getting arrested more and more. But they had already been arrested all through their history, many, many times. Like we said, like they were, they had like a fund for their members to like bail them out, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the more modern times, as they were getting arrested more and more, their jail terms they were like not that long. They were, I think, maximum jail sentences for these women were like 3 years, maybe.
Yeah, if they even got that. I think again, it's like, this is just like a symptom of the times and like underestimating women. Even though these women are like stealing so much shit and causing such a ruckus, it's like the punishment was not the same for women. It was way lower than if men were getting caught for these sort of things. And so women, they would serve like maybe a year probation is like usually what the deal was, but it could be as much as 3 years in prison, which still, I mean, they'd get out and just go back.
Well, and this is the early 1900s that we're talking about here.
Yeah.
In the 1800s, they were not so lucky. The lower end of punishment would be some jail time, and maybe like they'd brand their hand. You know, like to like be like, this is a thief. Like,
like Scarlet Letter type stitch.
Right. But like a higher punishment would be literally getting booted out of the country, getting booted out of Britain. This is like the prisoner transport ships that go to Australia or to the United States. Whoa. And they'd be like exiled from the country. Basically, they'd get a sentence of like, you know, 6 to 8 years out of the country, if not forever. Because they would just assume that a lot of people would die on the voyage or die in the country.
That's so rude.
Yeah, well, there was also some element of like indentured servitude involved in their punishment as well. So it was, if getting caught back then was not good. Then the ultimate punishment, of course, in these times, in the, you know, late 1700s, early 1800s through the 1800s, was death. When many women who were involved in the gang life, they would rock it till the wheels fell off, like, because they just could. They didn't have anything else to do. You know, what else? What choice did they have? Yeah. They're already in this life of crime. They're not going to get out. Yeah. Society's already shunned them, so they'd either fall in with increasingly more dangerous people and situations, or they'd rob the wrong one, like
Oh.
somebody either too rich or too dangerous,
Yeah.
and they'd get killed, or they'd get arrested and punished to the fullest extent of the law. So, and although sometimes if they robbed a really rich person, that the rich person would be like, I don't want anybody to find out about this. This is a scandal. I don't want to look stupid in society. So they'd like pay off the judge or whatever, the magistrate, and they'd throw these women like on a ship to the United States. Like that was
oh my
also
God.
Yeah.
Which is like such a weird way to deal with how we ever thought where we've ended up with like crime and punishment is like a good solution for anyone involved is beyond me.
Well, I mean, or they just literally hang them. So that was that would like quietly go and hang them in jail.
God.
Like don't get a fucking trial, nothing. So
oh my God.
But yeah, so that was where we were at in the 1800s. But in the more modern day, the laws started changing in Britain and in other countries. Like, so Britain couldn't just be like sending all their criminals to other countries.
Yeah, fair.
And be like, it's not our problem now.
Oh, she's your problem now. Sorry. No, or whatever.
No.
Also, I did not think that's where that story was going when you said that the families would be too embarrassed. I thought it's like, oh, the women got away with it. And it's like, oh, no. They were just not given a fair trial.
No. They're just like,
or fair punishment.
Get this lady out of here. We don't need anybody to know about this.
Ugh.
Yeah, so Britain had to like get their shit together though in the in the turn of the century. They were like, oh my God, we can't just like ship people out of the country or execute every criminal. So or keep everybody in jail like we do in the US. They had to like figure this shit out. So I guess they just started working on their societal problems that existed so people who were in rough financial or class situations didn't have to resort to crime to survive. No, that's not what happened. No. No. They just figured out how to sweep shit under the rug a little bit better. And then also World War I started popping off. So they needed people to fight not just one, but two world wars. So they couldn't just execute people anymore. They couldn't just send them to other countries. There was world wars happening, okay?
Yeah.
And that's where this kind of all just like peters out is after World War II. I don't know what it was. It was like the economic time was rough. The punishments were just not worth it anymore, I think, for what was happening as the world was changing. You couldn't resell like the things they were stealing in the same ways. It was all
people didn't have money too. I mean, like if we're talking about war periods, World War II, people didn't have money, and London was getting the shit bombed out of it. So
it was a bad time. So
it was a bad time. Yeah, I would imagine these women, like honestly, were able to get probably regular jobs during the war to be like, okay, well, I'm earning money anyway, and like, I can't go do crime stuff. It's harder.
No, I think they still were doing crime stuff. It's just that the resources were just not there for
Makes
everybody.
Sense. And you don't have the muscle. If all the guys who were helping you before, like even if they were like point people or truck drivers or whatever, it's like, well, they're off at war.
Yeah, exactly.
And, everything just kind of stalled.
Yeah, everything just kind of petered out a little bit.
Yeah.
Some of the women like were still in jail, like, but I will say that their highest point was between the two world wars, between World War I and World War II.
Yeah.
That is when, like in the 20s, whatever, that's when they were really just raking it in. But
and
then
having a blast.
And when World War II happened, it just kind of all like fell apart. The later, generations of 40 Elephants still existed. A lot of people were, like had gone to jail. And then post World War II, there was just like a different vibe. And then Alice Diamond, she was still like in charge of she was still queen shit like during all this time, but in the like late 40s and 50s, I think she retired because she had been in jail so often.
Yeah,
she was just like, all right, I can't do this shit anymore. And she retired. She opened a brothel, and then she died in the 50s, and the gang pretty much fizzled out. So,
man. What was she out there getting thrown in jail for? If you are running the show, if you're the queen of the gang, how come everybody else isn't doing the dirty work? But again, the difference between women and men. Women are
true leadership.
There, they get their hands dirty. Yeah, she's like, you know what? I'm not just going to tell you. I'm going to show you how committed to this grift I am. And I'm going to work my ass off for everyone.
Yeah.
She did.
I mean, she really leaned into this a little bit too hard, but you know, it's again, you get into this life and you most likely don't make it out. So she did retire though, like I said, after she opened her brothel, and you know, I think she lived into her like 70s.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Probably not an age that most women in the gang lived to. Oh man, it's really truly making me wonder, like, if who owns the rights to this movie, probably based on this man's book. I want to look it up. I want to look into it. I want to see if there are any studios thinking about making it. Like,
dude, there's people out alive now today that are descendants of this gang.
That's cool.
So think about that shit. Yeah.
They might have some shit in their house that's been stolen from Selfridges.
Oh my God. 100%.
Oh, they might have jewelry. It's like an heirloom piece, but it's like, but that was stolen. But that makes it cooler.
Most heirloom pieces probably are at this point.
Fair. All
right. Well, what else is there? My God.
Oh my God. I don't know. I just feel like I could talk about it forever. I loved all the stories about this. I just love the whole idea of it. I just
read the book, Alice Diamond and the 40 Elephants.
Oh, I love their name. I just love everything.
Yep, it's by Brian
didn't
Mcdonald.
think it was real. I just didn't think it was real, and the fact that it's real is so exciting.
It's as real as Scotland Yard, baby.
Oh my God! Wow, the more you know. We're always learning.
Dun 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 dun. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Follow us on social media at DTFU Podcast everywhere. TikTok. Please check out the huge fight that we caused.
Oh my God.
The Dave Matthews Band Jam Band. It was just a joke. It was just a bit. And people got real serious about it. Go to our website, dtfupodcast.com. Suggest the podcast to a friend who you think would like it.
Yeah.
Give us a review. Shoot us a note if you have an idea for an episode. Gosh, anything and everything. It's fun. We got it all.
Yeah.
And I got nothing else to say except be excellent to yourselves
and each other.
Bye-bye.
Bye.